Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian Donnelly. The Spirits Educator is a digital education platform and trade resource for the distilled spirits industry. My aim is to provide in-depth spirits information, brand transparency, and category education for distributor sales teams, service industry and hospitality members, and motivated enthusiasts. I currently work for a major wine and spirits distributor, but my work here on the Spirits Educator is completely unaffiliated with my current employer. And the last product in the core 3 of the trilogy pack is the Refuge, which is a straight rye finished in Amontillado sherry casks. I'm going to read a description from the brand. Refuge straight rye whiskey is aged for 6 to 8 years, blended to ensure consistent maturity has been reached, then finished in Amontillado sherry casks, boasting a sweet, fruity characteristic that is distinctively rich and refined, with notes of dried fruits and a delicate, spicy finish. Amontillado sherry is a drier aperitif which complements our 100% rye mash with notes of leather, nutmeg, and tobacco. The finish is a delicate process as the rye has already aged over 6 years and reached the desired extraction of oak. Typically, we finish for up to 6 months. However, weather and seasons play a momentous role in aging and extraction, keeping our blenders on their toes and constantly curating our spirits. So, here's the new rye. Here's what the label looks like. And just to compare that, here's a bottle of the old rye, and this was finished in French oak Vosges cigar barrels. So this one was green, and this really doesn't show up on camera, but it's a very, very, very dark green. All right, I'm going to read through the tasting notes provided by the brand. All right, it says the nose is rich and complex with notes of dark fruit, oak, and spice. The sherry cask finish adds a layer of sweetness and depth to our whiskey, creating a nose that is both fruity and spicy. Oh yeah, you can smell that sherry immediately. You can find a little spiciness, but it's definitely hidden under that sherry. But the sherry is, I mean, it's not aggressive. It's still relatively subtle. I shouldn't say subtle, I should say maybe well integrated. Because it's definitely there. I mean, there's no question to ask. You smell this and it's sherry cask finish. All right, let's taste it. The palate is described as our rye whiskey's characteristic spiciness is balanced by the Amontillado sherry cask sweetness and fruitiness. The palate features flavors of dried fruit, honey, caramel, vanilla, as well as a warming, spicy kick. Oh, that's really nice. I would say it definitely leads more rye forward, and then that kind of sherry finish comes in the second wave on the palate, and it finishes much stronger than it starts with the sherry finish. And the rye and sherry, that kind of sweet spicy balance that I know they're going for, is really well integrated. Oh yeah, let's see what the finish is. The finish is described as long and satisfying, with notes of oak, spice, and fruit lingering on the tongue. I would definitely say that's the case. The Amontillado sherry cask finish adds a tender, loving sweetness of the 6-month finish in Amontillado sherry cask. That's got a really nice finish. I don't think it's quite as long as the double barrel, but it's definitely longer than the Tennessee bourbon. That's really nice. A lot of sherry, my problem with a lot of sherry cask finished whiskey is it just ends up being a sherry bomb. You know, it just ends up being all sherry and you can't even taste the base whiskey that they're using. And this definitely isn't the case. There's a good rye flavor, and I think they've definitely done a good job of that, balancing that spicy rye with the sweetness from the sherry in a way that's done really well. This product is bottled at 92 proof or 46% ABV. And let's check my pricing. So the rye is more expensive. So the Tennessee bourbon and double barrel are line price, at least here in Oklahoma. And the rye will retail somewhere between $63 and $69. So this product's good, really tasty. Is it worth 60, mid 60s? I don't think so. I mean, if I want to be really critical, I think when you start paying above 50, especially into the 60s, you get to be really, really picky. And because there's so many incredible options, you really can demand a lot from your whiskey. This whiskey is super tasty. I think it's very enjoyable. I think if you can afford a whiskey in the $60 price range, you should definitely buy this. And I don't think you'll be disappointed. But I think there are other whiskeys that drink this well, if not better, for under $60, maybe even under $50. Again, $60 for American rye whiskey, even American rye whiskey that has been finished in a second barrel, that can be a little expensive for most whiskey drinkers. And so, is this product worth it? I think that part is kind of up to you. I think if you have no problem dropping $60, $70 on a bottle of whiskey and you like rye whiskey or you like sherry cask-finished whiskey, then this product's a no-brainer. You should definitely buy it. But, if you're on the fence, maybe not. Now, if you have the opportunity to buy a trilogy pack and you get a chance to get a 200 milliliter bottle of this, as well as trying the double barrel and the Tennessee bourbon, all for, let's see, what was my pricing on this? $39 to $43, somewhere in that range. I think that is definitely worth it. I think that's definitely what you do. You see if you can find the trilogy packs. The trilogy packs are usually not allocated, and you should be able to consistently find them. And I think that is where you get the best bang for your buck deal on being able to try these three products. Then you can determine for yourself if that particular flavor profile is worth the money to you.